Rod, to answer your question, the go live button didn't work. It said an error has occurred. You are not live.
Oh, gotcha.
So I had to do it all over again. Is it raining down there, Rod?
Yes, it is. It was
It's pouring here too. Yeah, it's horrible. So I put it on my phone internet from the beginning because I knew like the house internet is just not gonna cut it. So hello everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining us. If you do not know, I'm Kat, the nurse flipper. Rod is back. He was sick last week. My co-host picking and punching. Below me is Leroy from Blood, Sweat, and Cell. He's been on a few times with us. And Caddy Corner is Caleb from Bear and Bison, and it is his first time on with us. So I'm going to make Leroy and Caleb big, let them introduce themselves, and then we will get to your questions. Get your questions in early, guys. We have 10 already in queue, so make sure you get your questions in early. And yeah, here's Leroy.
What's going on, everybody? If you guys don't know me, I'm Leroy from Blood, Sweat, and Cell. I don't do many videos on YouTube, but I do sell on eBay and at flea markets. I mainly sell tools. As you can see, my hands are dirty. I did take a shower this morning, but I'm knee deep in tools right now. So that's it.
Oh, hold on. Bad cat. Whoa, sorry. Okay. Here's Caleb. Technical problems.
Hey.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. So I'm Caleb from Bear and Bison. We're fairly new to YouTube and fairly new to reselling. We've been doing it for about a year and a half or so, but we are growing as a family, me and my wife. So we are saving up, and reselling is one of the ways that we do that with supplemental income. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
Perfect. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Debbie wants to know, how do I drive traffic to my eBay store? I finally got all of my social platforms up, but I wanted to ask you guys, due to your experience and superiority. She's inserting a Wayne's World, We're Not Worthy clip there. I love that movie, by the way. So what advice do we have for her?
To bring traffic to your eBay store. The way I did it when I had first started was I tried to bring some of my stuff a little cheaper than what the normal price was, just to try to get people to buy from me, and then always let them know that I list daily or weekly. Just I would message them and just let them know if they bought something. Please pay attention. I do list daily. Is there anything that you're looking for? That's what I like to do, and that's how I do it.
Yeah, so I would say for me, it would be delisting and relisting, changing up the titles, really looking at the old stagnant inventory, and then just kind of refreshing maybe photos and things like that. Again, like the titles is a good idea. And then also you can mess with the pricing, just see what's currently out there. If an item hasn't sold in a while, just check and see what the market looks like currently. And then just try to relist, and you can lower the price every now and then, and kind of do boosted sales as well. Do promoted sales, I should say. So always do promotions. Another thing is coupons, and you can send out your coupon codes and things like that. That's one of the things that kind of gets things selling for us.
So I would say any promotion is better than no promotion. If you want to promote your items on social media, anything you can do to try to get items, to get eyes on your items always helps. If you do post on like Instagram, or you do post on your story, or if you post on Facebook, make sure you always include a link so people have a direct link to go to your eBay store. But I will tell you this, like I have multiple eBay, I have multiple YouTube channels. I do a lot of stuff on social media, on TikTok, from Instagram to Facebook, on multiple accounts. And I don't get a lot of traffic from my social medias to my actual eBay store. It's very far and few. I'm actually part of the eBay partner program, where if someone does click on my link and goes to my store or goes on eBay and buy something, I get like a very, very small percentage of it's cents on the dollar if someone buys something from my store or someone else's store. But I can actually track that. And I will tell you, like, some months I'll get like $100, $150 in sales. There's months I've gotten $50 in sales. There's months I've gotten like $300 or $400 in sales. So it really just, I don't get a lot of traffic for amount. I have almost probably $90,000 or $100,000 worth of inventory in my store. So it's cents on the dollar compared to what I'm actually getting. I would say, kind of what Caleb was touching on, and what Leroy was pretty much touching on is list your items at a competitive price, listing daily, because there's two ways people search. People are going to search by newly listed or what's ending that day. So when you're listing every single day, you're going to hit stuff newly listed and hit stuff that's going to be ending, because it's going to be a 30-day cycle. Every 30 days, your items are automatically going to relist. Promote your items. I do promote. A lot of people don't like promoting. I do promote every single item I post on eBay, or probably about 95% of those items on eBay. But if you're looking to get traffic, those things that you do, you have to have items that are fast sellers. And I will tell you, if you are an everything seller, one thing I like to do is I like to do my stuff in batches, because, for example, like if I'm listing, say, action figures, I like to list, I'll sit down and list 15 action figures. Maybe the next day I'll list hats or do something else. But I find when I do list in batches, multiples of the same items, when a buyer comes in and finds one they do like, they will go to my store to look at other items. So these are the things that I do to help, get some extra traffic.
Random fact, another thing I've been kicked out of, like I've been kicked off Facebook Marketplace. I've also been kicked out of eBay Partner Network.
ADHD got kicked out too.
Because I did not have, just for any of you that have content, I didn't have on my link tree that those links would give me a small commission, and eBay Partner Network kicked me out for that. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, it's actually by law you're supposed to have stuff in there, guys.
I have it on every video description, but I did not have it on my link tree, and they kicked me out for that. And I can never get back in, never. But I mean, it was very insignificant for me. Like I was making like $20-$30, so very insignificant. I would say, because you're saying you got your social media platforms up, that you're asking like how to drive traffic through that. So what I would say is, and I do not do this, I will say that, but like Dagny Flying Pig Thrifts is a great example of it. She will post late night listing all the time and post pictures of new items that she's putting in her eBay store. So the people that are following her see it, and that drives them to the eBay store. And you can hashtag that. So hashtags are super important. So if you're putting up like vintage or mid-century modern or kitsch stuff, then post the items you're listing for sale, use relevant hashtags, and hopefully that'll grow your social media like presence as well as driving to your eBay store. I, of course, have tons of videos. So that by itself, I think I have close to 10,000 followers on my eBay store that get notified when I list new stuff, because I've been doing this for so long. That is just built up. So a lot of this is just time. And you could do, like, if you're doing YouTube, you could do, like, I used to do haul videos, show what I bought, what's going to be on eBay. That'll also drive it. So, I mean, that's just a few ideas as far as, and I do none of it. I will tell you, I don't do any, like, I have the traffic just from being on here so long. But I could do a lot more for sure. Hopefully my daughter's helping me with my social media. So if you have noticed me very much more active on Instagram and Facebook, that would be my daughter, Brooke. That would not be me. I don't have time.
Debbie, there's one little hack you can do, especially with like Instagram. You're allowed up to 30 hashtags in your actual listing. So what on my iPhone, what I do is in my notepad, well, actually I do all my hashtags on Instagram, but when you do the hashtags, you can see how much traffic they get to as well. Like if it's something that gets a lot of traffic, and once you get those like set hashtags you want to use for a lot of your listings, so if you're listing similar items, I copy and paste those in my notepad. So anytime I go to post something, I have like 3 set things that I like to use on Instagram. I literally copy 30 hashtags and just copy and paste it. So that way it saves me time. I don't have to sit there each time and do that. Or I may save like 20, like the same 20, and then the last like 10, I'll specifically make it for that item. That's another thing I do too. So that definitely helps. But any advertising is going to help you. So just keep posting, just like we say on Instagram, just like we say on eBay. You need to list consistently. Social media is the same exact thing, because you want that daily attention. So if you get the daily attention by listing and by posting every single day, you're going to get more eyes on your product.
So Gila, gifted out 5 memberships, so I wanted to put this up and say thank you so much. I don't know, so if you're in the chat, you might have just randomly got a free month of membership to my channel courtesy of Sohila. So I'm going to give Sohila my turtle, and this is my favorite super chat. And I still, oh, guys, if you want to know, I'm going Sunday to get the outline of my sleeve done, for those of you that asked last week. So Sunday, he will lay it out and do the whole outline. I will be there for like 6 to 8 hours. So next Tuesday, I will show you, and it will probably still look pretty rough because it'll be scabbing over and probably look horrible, but I will show you guys next week. So here is the turtles. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see. Miss Karen is next. Karen wants to know, are there options other than a chest harness to use with your phone for filming thrifting? Can you film by hand, or would it be too choppy?
I do not film at all. If I film with my phone just in my hand. But I mean, watching other videos and just trying to get an idea of, you can sort of see what they're using, or like it will have it in there. Sometimes they'll even have it like what they're using. They want you to buy or purchase what they're using. You can look around and try to sneak and see that way. I know these guys can probably answer that a little bit better than I can.
Yeah, so for me, I would say that I typically go around the thrift store and then I find kind of the category of the item. So like if I'm hanging out in the clothing section, then I'll find like 2 or 3 things, and then I'll just use my phone. Like literally I just go boop and I talk about the item for 2 or 3 seconds, and then that's it. And then I'll keep it in my cart or keep it on me, because I kind of feel like if you have a cart, then you're gonna have bad luck and you're not gonna find anything. So I like to just use my hands. Not always the best method, because I typically find the first thing is like a giant box or something that I have to carry around the whole time. So I would say just do a couple seconds here and there filming with your phone. And I don't like to use the GoPro because I don't know, it gets too much attention. It's kind of cumbersome, and it's just a lot more low key just to take out your phone real quick and just whoop, film it and then talk about it, and then move on throughout your thrift trip.
So I've actually filmed both ways. I film with the phone and I film with the GoPro. I wear a strap that goes on my shoulders and around my chest, and it literally straps the center of my chest. There's one option. They have the magnet that you can put on, so you can actually get a magnet which pops on your shirt. I think Kat has that one. You put it up on your shirt, the magnet, and you can put it wherever you want it. Like the Commonwealth Picker, like ADH Dave, Death Bob Picker. When I go with those guys, they actually wear a book bag, and on the strap of the book bag, there's a clip that goes onto the book bag there. You can use your phone. The only reason why I don't like using the phone is because I like to be hands-on. So if I'm using my hand, and I want to look up comps, and then I got to film it, so I prefer the GoPro, so that way I can use my phone for comps along the way. But there's different ways to do it. I will say a lot of people are really self-conscious about wearing a GoPro, and they don't like wearing a GoPro. The biggest trick is wear a black shirt. I will tell you, I was self-conscious about it when I first started, but I will tell you, probably I can count on one hand how many times this year, and I go out filming every single week, and sometimes I film 2 to 3 times a week if I'm going to card shows, going anywhere else. But I can tell you, I count on one hand how many times people have actually stopped and asked me about my camera at garage sales or at thrift stores. Very few and far between. So, a lot of times it's just in our head. But I would say, you can use, there's other clips and stuff that you can do. I would try a couple different ones out and see what works best for you, just to see what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, so I am a GoPro fan. Marsha Red Cardinal Treasures actually is who I saw have it. I have the necklace that goes under my shirt. It is magnetic, and I just put the GoPro to the front of my shirt. We were thrifting for 6 hours today, and not one person said anything about the camera. And it's beeping every time I turn it off and on, because I don't record continuously. Marsha said I was supposed to tell Caleb, if you get a cart, you won't find anything. We brought our own cart, and we had to check out, fill up the trunk, and go back in today. And we filled it up a second time. So I don't believe that. Now, as far as the hand and the phone, I started my YouTube channel with just the phone, and I believe you can run a YouTube channel, a successful one, with just the phone. And I did that for over a year. And it depends on how steady you are, though. So, like the camera I'm using now for the podcast, I tried filming by hand with that, and so many people told me I was making them dizzy and sick. It wasn't funny. I do not have a steady hand. It is the same camera Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, uses for all of her videos, and I just do not, like, I cannot. I need a dump truck. Listen, Shannon said she was going to buy a cart, so we had 2 carts because we, like, there's 2 of us shopping now, and yeah, we like, the car was packed to the roof. I'll show you guys. It was absolutely, like, do you see behind our head? Like, it was packed to the roof, like all the way to the roof. And the trunk was packed. Like, we barely fit the cart back in the car. It was crazy. And that was because one of my favorite thrift stores, they closed for the summer, but they keep taking donations. And today was the reopening. And they said they hadn't been that busy. So not a lot of people went in. So we found some, like, thousands and thousands of dollars in profit today. It was very, very successful thrifting trip today.
Okay. Do you know in your settings you can actually turn that beeping off, by the way?
I have a new GoPro, and I still have the front screen on. I haven't even messed with the settings to turn that off yet.
I'm sure he'll do that.
I need to do it, though. I need to. And
so, for those people that are self-conscious, 2 things I would tell you: if you go literally just go and Google this or go on YouTube. You can turn off your front screen so people can't see it, but you're still the screen that you're wearing in, like the GoPro. Do I have my GoPro? Yeah, I have my GoPro right here. So I can have my GoPro on like this, like you guys see it there, but you can't see this. You can turn the screen off here.
See,
so
mine's still on.
Yeah, so when I first started filming, I used to leave this on. That was a rookie mistake. And I used to just walk up and people like, what's on your chest? What is on your chest? So yeah, you can turn this front screen off. And then also too, you can turn the beeping off. Now I will warn you guys, if you turn the beeping off, always double check to make sure your camera's on when you go filming, because when I turn finally found out how to turn my beep off, I messed up and I thought I was filming, but I turned my camera off when I got to the yard, so I turned it on when I got in my truck. So I was driving around with myself in the truck, and so just rookie mistakes that you'll make.
It's like do one of these just every time.
You can look down. Yeah.
Rod just clearly called me a rookie and said I was making rookie mistakes.
Listen, Kat, if the shoe fits, you wear it, all right?
all I'm going to say is your car was full, but this was mine after my auction yesterday.
Oh, Leroy, no one likes a one-upper, bro. No one likes a one-upper.
The truck is outside full. I would take us, but it's raining. My truck is outside full.
The ball's in your court now. You got to one-up them. You got to like a U-Haul truck or something.
I don't know. I haven't had too many big hauls lately. I think the last one I had was at a garage sale, but that's about it.
Shannon messaged me and said that I have to tell everyone because of what's being said in the chat. Shannon's watching. She said we need to buy a van, that we need a van. And Leroy, Shannon said to tell you that your car might have been full, or the van. He has a van, but you didn't have to hold anything on your lap. Like she had to hold stuff her whole, everything was full.
I saved room to look out my side mirror. That was after I was able to open the door, because I had to take stuff out like from the side because I couldn't open up both doors because it would have fell all over the place. It was horrible. That
was my car. I opened the door and you can see the garbage bag. We got like 6 garbage bags full of stuff and I opened and they're like just falling out. It was crazy. Today was a very, very, very good thrifting day. All right. Chuck says he bought over 100 12 by 12 by 12 boxes recently, and another seller told him he has to measure exactly, even if it says 12 by 12 by 12 on the box. Is he going to get dinged for them being 12 1/4 inches?
My opinion on that is no. I've never had that issue. I've heard people that have had that issue, but you do need to check your boxes, guys, because if you're trying to like I had to try to get boxes into my bins that I use for the flea market. So I needed specific sizes so they would all fit correctly. So whenever you're ordering boxes, if that's the case, make sure you ask them what are the outside dimensions of that box when it's constructed or together, because there are times where sometimes it's short or sometimes it's a little bit bigger.
Now, when you say ding, do you mean like overcharged
Yeah,
or?
like
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what they mean. Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. I just want to clarify. I don't think I've ever had an issue with that. I don't know if I should admit this, but sometimes I've just kind of estimated the measurements on lighter items, especially, and then I don't know. I have a really nice USPS worker. I like to schedule my pickups for everything. I don't know if y'all do that too, but I schedule pretty much all my pickups at my house, and I mean, for the most part, I've had no issues with my measurements. I try to be as accurate as possible because I want to be honest about it, especially if it's a larger item. I don't want to, have someone look at me and be like, "Is there a body in that box?" So definitely want to use the right measurements and dimensions, especially if you want to fit your item. You want to make sure that you fit, the right item in the right size in the right box. But never been dinged on those kind of measurements, and I've underdone it on some inches too. So yeah, no problem with that.
So I will say if it's a quarter of an inch or anything like that, no, you're not going to get dinged on that. They're not going to care. As long as your weight's good. Honestly, they don't check the box size. A lot of the boxes that are smaller size, so 12 by 12 by 12 is what they normally actually want you to use. So if you have one that's slightly over that, it's not going to be a big deal. It's when you start getting bigger and the packages get to a certain size. And do you remember what it is, Kat? What is the combined? There's a combined.
It's the 36 inches. That's
Yeah.
not 12 by 12 by 12. But I think they do the surcharge on like over 20 inches or something too. That's how everybody with the golf clubs kept getting dinged.
Yeah, it's not 20 inches. I just shipped a bunch of stuff out 20 inches and with no issue last week. I think
Maybe it's
23.
Maybe it's 20 something.
It's higher than that. I think it's 36. You can't go over 36.
No.
No.
I'm gonna research.
Yeah, but I would say the biggest thing is, I will say, this is a public service announcement for a lot of people here, is eBay has been automatically defaulting
22 up to 30, buddy, is a small surcharge, okay. And then over 30 is a higher surcharge.
Okay, over 30.
22. Okay. 22.
So just be careful when you guys are doing your listings. eBay has a thing, it's a glitch in the system which will automatically make your box size. So sometimes I go to list an item on eBay and it'll make my box size like 22 or 18 which is nowhere near, so always double check your dimensions when you are creating your listing on eBay, but they're not going to ding you for, if it's a quarter of an inch over, not an issue.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with everybody else. I don't think they'll get you for that, but they might if it's a full inch over. It's rare that they measure them, but they do, because I have gotten dinged on them. But I don't think a quarter of an inch is gonna get you a ding.
Especially when the boxes say 12 by 12 by 12 on them. You know what I mean? They don't usually do anything if the boxes already come like that.
Yeah. All right. Pat says, I have oversourced. I oversourced in one friggin' day. And currently have about 20% of what I bought listed on eBay. In 5 weeks, I'm having knee surgery. Now I have turned this into an episode of Hoarders. Any advice on where to begin?
I would say if you think it's going to be an issue and you're not going to be able to recover quick enough, could you do whatnot, try to push some of that stuff out? And apparently how to shop. So you can very easily get the stuff again. But if you did a whatnot show or 5 or 6 whatnot shows, you can sell a lot of items sort of quickly. I don't personally do whatnot yet, but I do have a lot of friends in this community that do.
Yeah, man, that's a tough situation with the knee surgery. I would say, I don't know if you have family members too that can help out with listing, maybe have them take some photos for you and kind of work on some of the, no pun intended, legwork, and then you kind of get listing from there. Um, but yeah, just really don't try to overwhelm yourself. I would say that's the biggest thing for me. When I first started, I was buying a lot of bulk and I was buying not necessarily the best items. So I think, the biggest thing is start small and then grow bigger. And then when you're comfortable and you have a routine, then you can start buying in that bulk and you're like constantly listing. So yeah, I would say just start small and then grow big. But in terms of the current situation you have, maybe just have a garage sale. Sometimes you have to cut your losses, and if there's the worst items, take the worst items, separate them, organize the bad items in one pile and then the better items in the other. Focus on the higher yield items and then make your profit out of what you already put into the cost of the product.
So garage sale would be a great thing just to try to move some inventory if you're worried about that. But what I would do is I would organize it in piles and stuff I can quickly take photos of, and I would start batching photos because I would want, if I knew if I was having knee surgery, I still want to list because I don't want my eBay store to die. So what I would do is I know I'm going to be stationary there. I may take photos of all my items and put those items in my inventory. What I would do is take a photo of the item, put it on a scale, take a photo of the item on the scale so I know the weight, and then take a photo of where I'm putting it in inventory and just put it in my inventory system. That way I have all those photos saved in my phone. Then when I am, I might do that to 150 items just to get things organized, get things going. And then when I am down and about with having my knee surgery, I want to sit there and still list, then I can literally sit there and just list. So I'd probably do that the week before, but I would try to knock out as much stuff as you can right now. Work a little extra time if possible, if you have the flexibility to do that. But I've done that in the past where, I have too much. I oversource, and I can't tell you how much I oversource, but I have storage units full of stuff, and I have warehouse, and I have a garage and offices, and I have a lot of stuff. So I feel your pain on that one, but I would say the best thing is I try to get organized. I just move stuff around, and I just started putting stuff in inventory, and that worked for me. Took a picture, all my pictures of the item, and then I'll go back. I'll pop those photos in a photo room to remove the backgrounds, and then just be able to sit at my phone, just list, and I know the weight, and I know the location is at, so it doesn't mess up my SKU system.
All right, so my advice is gonna include something that I wasn't gonna do until 9 p.m., but I'm gonna put this in here now. I'm giving away 10 free months to List Perfectly. There is the link. All you have to do is click it. You don't have to enter to win it. List Perfectly's AI Express Lister is super fast. All you do is take the photos. You can knock listings out really fast. My only thing would be, are you going to have to shut the store down with the surgery, or do you have somebody that's going to be able to help you ship? I still would list things, but I would just keep that in mind, because you're going to get it all ramped up, get all this stuff, and then you're going to shut it down. I don't know how long your recovery is expected to be. I am very hard-headed and would probably be on crutches shipping. That's just me. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't do that. I'm not advising to do that. Okay, as a nurse, I cannot advise, but I can tell you what I would do. But I agree with go through it. You might have oversourced bad inventory, and that's the stuff that it's okay to donate back, or do, like they were saying, do a whatnot sale, do a garage sale, and make sure that what you're listing is higher sell through. So hopefully some of this stuff will sell before the 5 weeks and you'll move through some of it. But I was trying to see if she answered. I haven't seen an answer as far as if anybody's helping her. Because that's going to be the hard thing, is you're going to get in this rhythm and be doing it, and then you're going to have to stop, so you work up this rhythm, and then all of it is. Yes, I agree with Scott. And again, if you're new to it, I put the link. 10 of you can get free month. That's $70 value. Just click it, and no charge. try it for a month. I have a video on it. Next Tuesday, I was supposed to freaking schedule. I have too much going on. I have way too much going on. I was supposed to schedule. So next Tuesday at 11 a.m., I will be doing live listing party with me to show you guys exactly how that works. That is when we are doing it. So if you want to see more, you can, but I would advise clicking that link because, yeah, that might not come back. Now, what am I doing with my life? Okay. Miss Elena says she read today on Facebook post that a seller who initiates a refund can get a ding for doing that on eBay. Is that true?
I have never initiated a refund as a seller. I don't think that's true, but let's see what these guys have to say.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had any issues with initiating a refund. Like, for example, I've actually broken an item when I was trying to ship it. So, I mean, I had a situation where I was like, hey, I can't ship this to you. I mean, I was nice about it and said, hey, straight up, I dropped the item and it broke, and I'm going to go ahead and refund, your money. And that was pretty much it. I don't know if y'all have any other comments, but that's all I got.
So I issue refunds almost weekly. I issue refunds for combined shipping refunds. I send money back sometimes to the buyers. You don't get dings for that, for partial refunds. And if you have to so what they're probably referring to is if you cancel an item, cancel an order, and have to issue a refund, depending on what your drop down is, if it's on your side, yes, you will get dinged for that. So if you put down out of stock, the item was damaged, yes, you will get a ding in your account for that. The trick is, the workaround to that is, if you have an item that's damaged, if you have an item that you can't ship out to a buyer, all you have to do is send them an email and go, hey, sorry, I no longer have this item in stock, or the item accidentally broke. Is there something else in my store would you like? If not, I can issue a refund. Just let me know what you want me to do. More than likely, the buyer's going to reach back and say, just send me a refund. Now, when you go to issue the refund, you can say buyer requests refund, because in writing, they did say, issue me a refund. So then you go through there, you can do buyer issue refund. You won't get a ding in your account. Another option is, if you can actually just ship something, tell the buyer, hey, I don't have the item. You can still print off the label, and you'll have to eat the shipping cost on that. But you can issue them back a refund for the item without canceling it on eBay, and say, hey, I'm sorry I don't have this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a free gift to make up for the item. But here's your full refund. So just be on the lookout for that. So in the system on eBay, eBay will still have a tracking that you actually ship the item. The buyer gets the full refund, and then you just ship them like stickers or something else, and the buyer's happy. So 2 different ways to work around that. That way you don't get dinged on your account.
Yeah, Rod stole my answer. That's the problem with going last. But I agree. The only way you're getting dinged is if you're refunding because you're canceling and you're not putting buyer requested. And you want to figure out a way not to do that. All right, let's see. Oh, and the only reason, probably not the only reason, me and Shannon are good, but Elena and Marcia both didn't come today, and they're normally thrifting with us, so it's just me and Shannon. Elena, which is Treasure Diva Thrifts, whose question is up here on the screen right now, by the way, guys. She has a channel, friend of mine that I thrift with in person, and Marcia both didn't come. So me and Shannon had complete run of the stores, and we cleaned up. Sorry, ladies. Yeah, so, all right. Brenda wants to know if we can show her how to... Brenda, if you're still here, I don't know what she means by completed listings, unless she means unsold. Does anybody maybe know what she means?
You can actually delete your completed listing. So if you remove an item off eBay, it still shows on eBay for 90 days, but you can actually go in there and delete that listing off eBay as well. So it won't come up. So I don't know if that's what she's referring to, or maybe she's saying that because it's still showing up after. I don't know. Brenda, if you can,
chat.
Yeah, Brenda, if you're in the chat, let us know what. Can you elaborate a little bit more what you mean by that?
Yeah, let us know for sure.
And come back to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in there. Unique Vintique wants to know if any of us have ever used Shopify or have feedback on pros and cons.
I have not. I don't even know what Shopify is.
I haven't used Shopify either. So yeah, maybe in the future, but not right now.
I haven't used Shopify. I have friends that have. Shopify is more or less, if you're going to have your own website, it allows you to have your own store if you want to sell your own. A lot of YouTubers use Shopify to sell their own merchandise in it. But or if you want to like list some of your own items on there, that's a way you can use Shopify. But that's pretty much all I would say. All I can really add to that. The pros to that would be is you're getting 100% of the sales. You're not paying any commission for anyone. The cons would be you have to draw your own traffic to your Shopify store.
Yeah, and I haven't done Shopify, but I do Big Cartel, which is very, very similar, and I don't get a lot of traffic because I don't drive it there. So that's the thing with Shopify and like all of like kind of like your own website. The traffic you get, you have to drive. So like that's why we pay all these fees to eBay and Poshmark, and we don't pay them to Mercari. I can't say that. Is because they're driving all of those customers to our item. And with Shopify, you have to drive those customers to your item. Nobody else is doing it. So like my Big Cartel, like I have master classes on there. I never talk about them. And so nobody ever goes to them. So you would have to, the money you would have to put into advertising for a Shopify to get the amount of traffic you would get on any of these big platforms is going to be a lot more than that 20%. So unless you have a really big social media following. So just be aware of that.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's when going back to that is when people complain about eBay fees, I always tell people, I'm like, you have no idea what it takes to actually draw traffic to your website. It's a lot, man. I mean, just think about trying to draw traffic to your social media accounts and grow your social media accounts. And how many people in this chat right now struggle to do that? Can you imagine if you complain about paying eBay 15%, but they have 130 million users on that site that you get free advertisement. All you have to do is put your items up there and you have eyes on them. So if you didn't do that, man, you'd be spending, like Kat said, a lot more money than 15% to get traffic going your way.
All right. Miss Joanne says, do you use something like an Excel spreadsheet to organize your inventory, or does List Perfectly do that for you? And what did you do before List Perfectly? I'm going to take this and then I'll let everybody, because I'm assuming she's talking to me since I was talking about List Perfectly. I am anti-spreadsheet. I hate them. I am not a spreadsheet person. My inventory is the SKU system in eBay, and that is it. We don't have it anywhere outside of there. So before I had List Perfectly, it was just the SKU system in eBay. Now that SKU does copy over to List Perfectly. I will say my reseller Genie, Marsha, I don't know if you have that. I might have the link if Marsha doesn't. My reseller Genie is amazing. It's $10 to $20 a month, and they do like almost like QuickBooks for resellers. They pull in your eBay listings, they pull in Poshmark, and they have inventory and they have spreadsheets for those of you that like them. Again, I do not like spreadsheets. So I guess we can all say what we do as far as organizing inventory, even if you're not obviously using List Perfectly.
I do not use List Perfectly, but I do have inventory through just eBay. That's the only platform that I sell on, internet-wise. So I just use a number system, and I make sure every number is on the shelf, the way it is, the way it's supposed to be, and every item has a number tag on the item itself. So I don't also just have a number system on the bin. So if the bin was like 220, in that bin there's 221, 200. I can't show you because I have a mess here, but every item has a SKU number on the item, and the bin does as well.
I don't know. I think I'm more like the Commonwealth picker, where he just kind of puts things in places and then finds them. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
I'm too old for that. I'm too old. I'll forget.
But you're putting it by liked items, right? You're putting shirts in the shirt pile, video games in the video game pile.
Yeah, I have I have a lot of clothing right now that I need to kind of sort, go through. But I have like 5 or 6, clothing bins, 1 or 2 electronics. I got like 2 or 3, game systems, all bins. As long as the items are sorted by like items, then it doesn't take that long to go through and just find the item real quick. I know if you have like over 1,000 items, then yeah, that would probably be impossible. And I would probably have to get a little smarter on my inventory system. Right now, we typically have anywhere from 300. I try to get around 300 items in our eBay store, and then anything above that would probably be kind of crazy. But right now, I don't know, I'm probably around 200 something. So I need to get to listing some more, sourcing more items right now.
I would say start your inventory system immediately, because what ends up happening is you will start acquiring more and more merchandise. And if you ever come across a big buy or anything like that, it will cause issues down the line. So you can use your system, what you're doing, but at least have some type of organization with it, I would say. As for me, I use totes. I have A1, A2, A3 all the way up, and then I have row B, row C, row D, and so on. And then for like my bigger items, I have like a warehouse shelf that I keep those on. So I pretty much do that. As for, and then all my listings, I do lists with Vendu when I put it in there, but I put my SKU in there, and it goes across all my different platforms. So, no matter if it sells on Poshmark, sells on Mercari, sells on Whatnot, sells on eBay, I know exactly where it's going to be and when it sells.
Hi, Dalton. I love you, buddy. Dalton and Brooke are watching us again. I also wanted to add on, like with Caleb saying that. So if you told me 5 years ago I would have 7,700 items, I probably would tell you you're crazy.
Yep.
And I started with just putting stuff, and then you turn around and there is 7,000 items, and you aren't going to remember where all of those are. I will tell you that. So I would start it ASAP.
Nothing's worse than spending 35 minutes to try to find a $12 item. And then you just wasted 35 minutes because you thought you put it
like
one place.
$3 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you're like, oh, I can't believe I did this, And then that's the worst, I will tell you. So having a system in place does work.
Yeah. All right.
Grammy's, I'll work on it.
We're telling Caleb here. Seriously, though, like once I got up to like 500, I was like, crap. And then as it grew and that stuff, the bad thing was those original 500, I think I started around 500 items, like doing SKUs. The original 500, when they sold, I would be like, crap. Like, so I couldn't find them because now like they've been listed. And yeah, so Grammy's Thrifts and Quilted Gifts sent a $10 super chat. Dalton, here, look, speaking of Dalton and Brooke, here are Dalton and Brooke. Y'all better not be in there doing that right now, you two. For those of you that are newer to my channel, you might not know. So Dalton is 6, but I also have a 22-year-old, which is Brooke. I have a 25-year-old and a 1-year-old grandbaby. So Dalton was my start over in life, baby. But yeah, so Brooke is his sister. A couple people on my last video are like, who's Brooke? Brooke is my 22-year-old daughter. So yeah, Wolfman's Goodies sent a $5 super chat. Thank you. And here you go. That was very loud, guys. I think I didn't turn the sound down on that one. So if you're awake now, hello, good evening. All right, let's see. Retail says they signed up for LP and started using the share tool for Posh. I have it set to all day, but it doesn't actually share my closet all day. There is a max limit on shares. I'll click on it right now and tell you what it is. So the max value per day is 6,416. So there's actually, you can tell it how many per session, and you can tell it if you want it to be active all day. So if it's hitting that 6,000 by sharing them over and over and over, it's going to stop at some point. But if you take down the max value per session of the hiccups, that won't happen. All right. Cheryl just got back from vacation. She did vacation mode, even allowing sales during. Do you think doing that with allowing the sales affects the sales. So she's asking after vacation how to get her sales back up and running.
When I go on vacation, what I normally do is I put my store. I don't put my store on vacation. I move my handling time to like 4 days, and as I get closer to being home, I drop it down to its normal state. Then what I do is I actually put my store on sale when I go away to help drive traffic to my eBay store, considering I am not listing. So that's how I do it, and it seems to work for me.
That's a good way to do it. No, for us, I'm bad. I shouldn't be checking my eBay app all the time when I do, and my other sales, but I'm like, oh, I'm looking at my phone, and Kayla, my wife's just like, hey, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, no, nothing, just so I will typically go on vacation mode, but sometimes I actually have all maybe like 10 or so listings kind of in the queue, and then I will have all my pictures taken, everything ready to go, and I'll actually like just hit list like one day at a time, depending on however long my vacation. Maybe it's 5 days. Then I can list each day while I'm on vacation, still keep my store kind of active. So that's one way that I've been doing it. I don't know if that's the best technique, but that's what's worked for me.
So I'm a lot like Leroy. I will extend my handling time before I put my store in vacation mode, because they don't count weekends as shipping days. So a lot of people think they do count weekends. So if I usually have a 2 or 3 day shipping handling on my store. So I'll extend all up to 7 days. And if a buyer buys something and sends me a message, I'll say, hey, I send them a message, hey, not sure if you noticed that we did have 7 day shipping on because we're currently on vacation. If it's an issue, I can always issue a refund. If not, I can ship it the day I get back. And they're usually really cool about that. Yeah. The only time I ever put my store in vacation mode is when I went to Europe for my honeymoon was it last year? Yeah, I think last year. Maybe, yeah. Whenever I got married, I guess last year. Yeah, last year. My wife's gonna kill me. But at that point in time, I put my on vacation mode. But what I did was, I think we went for 10 days to Europe. On like day 7, I took it off vacation mode and I put it on regular 3-day handling time. That way, because when you do have your store in vacation mode and you're not listing, typically in the past when I've done it, my store has slowed down. I've actually used vacation mode years ago. And it did take a little bit for the get kick started. So I always like to start it while I'm on vacation back to normal mode, just extend the handling time. And I do like, and I have tried what Leroy talked about, putting your store actually on sale when you're on vacation mode, because it gets more eyes on your items. And I won't send out offers, but I will tell you this, even if you don't get a lot of sales from putting your store on sale during your vacation mode, when you get back, you will have a boatload of offers to be able to send out. So I like that, because I had a ton of offers last time I did that. And the first day I got back, I packed up all my items, and then I just sent out like 100 plus offers to buyers, which got my store back in the flow of things right off the bat.
Yeah, so I haven't done vacation mode in a long. I don't take very many vacations. The last time I think is when I did my Tennessee camp, which is probably coming up on 3 years now. And I did vacation mode. I was still listing every day. Once again, I am a workaholic. So it's just what I do. So I had pictures taken before I went. I was listing stuff. When I flew to DC to do a consultation, I brought jewelry in my luggage and was listing jewelry in the hotel room. It's just me. I know I should take a true vacation, but I love what I do. So I like doing it. I noticed like at the very end, like day 7 is when it started slowing. So I sent offers every single day, just like I do when I'm home. And, but in the offer message, I told them like, I'm out of town. I will be back on whatever day, and I will ship them out when I get back, so they knew when I'm sending them those offers that it's not going to go out right away. And I would make sure to message everybody that bought stuff too, so they know, like, hey, I'm allowing sales, but I'm gone for a week. So if you need this item right away, let me know and I'll cancel it. Because the last thing you want is ticked off people, right? So just make sure that people know, and getting sales back up and run, just list, send offers, maybe put a sale on if you didn't put a sale on before, and that should get you some more sales for sure. We have a super chat somewhere. There it is. Miss Joanne sent a $5 super chat and said, thanks for your time and all the good information. You are very, very welcome. Here is the whale. And if you guys don't follow Gino's Finds, please give him a follow. He makes the majority of my super chats for me. So please give Gino. He was in the chat earlier. I know he was trying to get free beer or something. I don't know. But here is I keep saying I like them all. I said another one was my favorite, but I like this one. All right. Let's see. So Gila wants to know, do you think there's a best time to list, like in the morning or in the evening?
Okay. I list whenever I get a chance, but I've been watching a few people that have been selling for like 20 years on eBay, and I feel like if you get say 5 listings up before California is like not like 10 o'clock, then you're like ahead when they get up. So like our 10 o'clock would be California's, I don't know, is it 8 o'clock? I might be off on my numbers, but I try to get them done by 10. I try to get so many done by 10. So when people wake up on the West Coast, my new listings are already there. But that doesn't happen, but that's the way I'd like it to be.
Yeah, so I know with a family and another full-time job besides reselling, I just try to, list whenever I can. I'm sure there's a better technique and a better answer for that, but I would say, at night is typically when I list. I don't know if y'all have some other guidance on that.
So when it comes to, there's a difference between auctions and just regular listings. If you're going to list an auction, absolutely the time does matter. Like for me, if I run an auction, I'm going to run an auction on Thursday night around 8 o'clock, and I'm going to run that for 10 days because it's going to hit 2 weekends and end on a Sunday night. Because what is everyone doing on a Sunday night? They're sitting down, watching TV, hanging out with the family because they're getting ready to go to work on Monday morning. So people usually have their phone in the hand just sitting there. Perfect time to run auctions. Now, when it comes to the actual listing, it doesn't matter what time you list an item. If you price an item, and the item has a fast sell-through rate and you price it at right around market value, you're going to have no problem selling that. I list the other day, I listed a vintage t-shirt at like 5:45 in the morning, and I had with the first hour or two, I had 9 offers on that shirt already. Now, they're all lowball offers. It was a 3D emblem shirt, so it was a very rare shirt from 1989, but it didn't matter. So I list. The best thing is just list as much as you can when you can list. So if it's at 2 o'clock in the morning, if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I start listing. 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll get a couple listings done. I'll do the rest of my stuff. I'll go edit videos. I'll go package up my items. I'll list a couple more items, and I'll go take my dogs for a walk. Come back in. I'll list a couple items. Like tonight, when I get done this podcast, I'm probably gonna sit down and watch some TV. I'm gonna list at probably like midnight tonight. So, it's more importantly just getting your listings up. So whenever you can do them, put them up. Don't wait.
Yeah, I think in any time, like all that matters is listing. I don't think there's a better time. I sometimes will list at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like Rod. Sometimes I'm listing at midnight. Just get the listings up. That to me, I think is the most important thing. Brad sent us $4.99 super chat. Black Sheep Society. He said, for the time away fun, thanks for the consistent content. You're very, very welcome. What am I doing? Let's see. I'm going to the original. This is the old school super chat. Here you go. Super chat. That was the first ever super chat that I had. All right, let's see. Silver Hair Stacker says, when you have a big score, do you coast a bit or get fired up and do even more?
Both. For me, I get super excited for about half hour, and then I look at my desk and I see that I can't get into my photo booth or put a soda on my desk because it just became a nightmare, and this is disgusting. And this is real time. But yeah, I get excited about the new list. I mean, I get excited about big sales, and it does make me want to list more items, and then sometimes it makes me want to get a good lunch.
Yeah, man. So that's kind of a tough one too, because if you don't have a good system to list, then it can be very overwhelming when you bring back like a really big haul. For us, I don't know, for me, I get really excited because, you know, typically it's like a bin of video games or something that I'm just like, yes, this is going to be great. And, you know, we have the reselling closet that's right beside our office. So then I can just put things in there. And then I have a floor that's kind of open over here. And thankfully it's not too, you know, bad right now. It's actually pretty clean, like a couple bins right here. And then overall, I think I just get really excited to do even more. I don't know if I get too overwhelmed now that we actually have a system for listing. If I didn't have a system for listing, I would feel overwhelmed and not excited. But now I'm just like, yeah, we're good with our system. Get the items in, put it in the sorting, go in the bin, put things in the bin to take out to the garage, and then that's it. So yeah, that's it for me anyway.
So when I get a big score, it gets me fired up. Like it's in, you know, they say momentum's contagious because, you know, if you get a big score, you're in a good mood, you're happy, you're positive, you're going to go. Nothing's worse than starting out your day. Like I had 2 weeks ago, I started my yard sale day, and I went to 2 yard sales that one started at 9. I got there 7:40, which I thought it started at 8. And then the other one started at 11. I got there at 8 because I was leaving the other yard sale. So, you know, when you have days like that, when you start bad, like it ruins your mood. It impacts your buying and stuff like that. Or if you're just grinding out the entire day. So when I get a big scale, I keep going because, you know, you're in a good mood. You may find other stuff. You start talking to those buyers, those sellers. But there's times though when I had a huge sale, a huge buy, I would cut my day short. I've done that too. But I come back and I start listing right away. So I still keep the momentum going. I just come home and I start working more on that. So I would say I get fired up. Absolutely.
I'm going to say I'm a little overwhelmed, and I'm going to show you guys, like, look at my counter right now. Like, and there is a 8-foot table in the back that is piled just as high, all from one day. Listen, buddy, are we comparing stuff? So it is overwhelming because I don't have my part-time employee anymore. And so we're like, crap. So first thing I told Shannon is we have to stop shopping. Number one, no more shopping until... so Gila, I think what Silver Hair Stagger, like when you get a big lot of stuff, like we hit the jackpot at these thrift stores today, and we're not going to leave stuff, right? Like we're going to take all the value we find. So now though, the key is going to be to getting listed as much as we can, as fast as we can, and not buying more until this pile is almost gone. And we've done pretty well with that since I got rid of my death pile over a year ago now. So now I'll stop. Like, I'm not going to look at online auctions. I'm not going to go to the thrift store. I will make sure we get this listed. And this was all clean yesterday. Like, it was all empty. And this is just one day. And the truck is still outside full of stuff. And I don't know where we're going to put it. We will figure it out. But I have been good about like stopping once that starts. So for me, I think it stresses me out, but like hopefully it fires up my employees because they're the main ones that do the lists now. So yeah. Okay, take them. We'll see how fast we can be. Brooke said she's going to start helping us list too. So, because I lost a part-time employee. So Brooke is going to start. She used to help me list before we did Whatnot, and then she kind of went to Whatnot helper for 2 years, and now she's going to get back to helping us with eBay. So hopefully we will get them up pretty fast. All right, let me see. I got that one. If you had a new tags Gucci necklace, you would have a lot of money, number one. Number two, if it's new tags, would you order a box to sell with it?
Okay. First, I have to admit to you guys, I paid attention to that message wrong for the last one. I won't give my answer, but I did. I thought you said a good score during the day, like a good sale during the day. So that was my question was on that. I hope one day, with God's help, that I get a Gucci anything. But at this point, I don't have a Gucci anything. I have like Snap-on stuff, and that's about my Gucci. But no, I normally don't. To answer that in a way that I sort of works for me, I won't buy like a box for something to add the value. I just don't have time for it. I try to just sell it as it is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you have the item and you're missing the box or whatever and it's still new, then I wouldn't waste your time trying to source for your item to look better. I would just list it as is. For example, if you have like a movie or a video game, then you say, hey, this isn't complete in box. You say disc only, whatever the item is, and then go from there. I wouldn't spend your time or waste any time on trying to get a box or something to make it look nicer. If anything, take better photos and focus your time on making better photos, better lighting, and don't really focus on, getting, a box to make it look better.
So I would say I wouldn't order a box because I already have all the jewelry boxes sitting at my house right now. I have Chanel, I have Louis, I have Gucci, I have a bunch of other ones. But I will say a lot of times though, I sell empty jewelry boxes for Louis Vuitton and I have a lot of people that do buy them because when they do give them as gifts, they want to have a nice box to put them in. So I think it can help your sell price. The only thing I would say is if you do buy it, make sure you're not going overboard and that it increases the value of it, because there's some designer stuff that won't increase the value if you do buy a box for it. You don't necessarily have to have one, but it does present a lot better if you do have a box.
Okay, so being a designer box seller like Rod, I actually, and I'm going to show you guys, Shannon's texting me pictures I'm going to show you, but I actually just bought a box from Rod for a bag from Shannon that was Louis Vuitton, and I didn't have the correct size box, so I waited to list it, and Rod, that Louis Vuitton sold in 3 days for $240. So Shannon thinks it can be almost double. Look, Shannon's sending me her closet full of Gucci. She said, take it from a Gucci connoisseur. Yep. That the box increases the value. So when you have that high dollar stuff, especially new with tags, it is worth it to buy the box. And you can buy the box from myself or Rod if we have the right size. I bought it from Rod because I had tons, but I didn't have the right size. And I didn't want to put this bag in a box that was way too big. That wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't look right. So I bought it from Rod. Rod shipped it to me. Luckily, we only live 2 hours apart. And the bag sold very, very fast. So I would say get a box.
I will say too, is having a designer box and also having like the dust bag and having the other stuff really does help make it more authentic for a lot of people, because you see a lot of fakes out there when it especially comes like the purses and stuff like that. They don't have the boxes along with it. So having a legit box to that does make a lot of buyers feel more comfortable, even though it's going to go through the authentication process on eBay. it still makes the buyers feel better, knowing that they have a complete item and all together, even if it's a used box.
Yeah.
I also know, and you guys already know this. I know if any of you guys are new to Cat's channel, if you do see a box and you don't see the item, and these guys can say this because they have about probably 500 of whatever they have boxes. But if you see a box for something, even certain K jeweler boxes, I've seen go for $30-$40 just for the empty K jeweler box. So pay attention to that stuff and don't be afraid to look it up when you go to these estate sales and you see the boxes just sitting there. Look them up, because like those guys know, you could be the one that has the box that somebody's going to buy it off of.
And it's not just purse boxes too, not just jewelry boxes. Kat, you sold pen boxes before.
I did. Pen boxes. Yeah, I sold $60 in pen boxes last week.
Pen boxes sell. I actually have a Tom Ford right here. This is actually a cologne box. These actually do sell. Empty cologne designer bottles do sell as well. So guys, don't pass this stuff up, because a lot of people think it's garbage. Someone actually sent me a message, because me and Kat always talk about the boxes. Their neighbor was throwing out a Louis Vuitton box. They took it out of the garbage because from watching our video, from us always talking about the boxes. So.
Pay attention Christmas time. When you see your neighbors and you see stuff, pay attention, because even PlayStation boxes, somebody will throw the box away and then they want to return it. I mean, be careful, because the serial numbers could be, I don't know much about that kind of stuff, but just pay attention to boxes.
Yeah, no, video game boxes are huge. And if you ever deal with I deal with a lot of vintage toys and stuff like that. Sometimes if you're dealing with stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, sometimes the box goes for just as much or even more than the actual item, just to the fact that, just like you said, people get the items, they throw it away. So if you guys see boxes, empty boxes, even if it's vintage old toy boxes, stuff like that, look them up, because there's a whole category for video games on eBay that's for manuals and empty boxes.
I guess I need to change my my opinion on these boxes. I was like,
everybody wanted to redo.
I was like, I mean, I knew boxes were good, but I guess I didn't think about Gucci and other brands like that. I guess that makes sense to have.
That's why we sell them. We sell boxes. I sell boxes as high as $150, but that $150 box will increase the value of their bag possibly by $500 to $1,000. We're talking about $20,000 Hermes bags. I saw, Rod, did you see they asked if either one of us, all of my Gucci boxes have sold. The only Gucci thing I have left is ribbon and one bag. My Gucci stuff sold fast. I sold out.
Yeah, I found a bag, literally a garbage bag full of ribbons of Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Chanel. And also, here's something I sell a ton of. Do you guys know Chanel has the white flowers on their bags and on their boxes? People take those little white flowers off and they use them for crafting. So even little things like that, or the ribbons that Kat was talking about, people will buy the Louis Vuitton and the Chanel ribbons, and they will actually use those for crafting projects. So I sell empty bags. Even the bags, I just sold a whole lot of Louis Vuitton bags because people want them, especially if you have a consignment store. A lot of people will buy the boxes to put the purses and stuff in, because the presentation in the store looks 10 times better. Or they buy the empty bags because when people buy the purses, they can put the bag in the box in the actual original bag. So
my good friend Mark OG&Z is here. He right on time, 9/11 every time. I can call him on it. Mark gets Rod every time. I can't give him Kevin. He gets mad. So Mark, here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Okay. Oh, look at Scott. Scott knows to be on time, Mark. You should look, Scott teaches things like being on time and one-upping people. Scott is an amazing channel, guys. If you missed it, he was on with us last week. It was an amazing, amazing show. And what does Scott get? Scott Should we give Scott? No, I'm going to give you a Dalton on a dolphin. Here you go.
No one likes a one-upper, but when you throw extra money on, well, that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Dun, 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 dun. Question. This is a fun question. If you did not do reselling on YouTube, what would you do a channel about?
I'm gonna have to pass because I'm gonna get too into my feelings. So this one I'm gonna pass on, guys.
Okay. All
right. So
Caleb's show and telling.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. So I like to solder. That's one of my passions is soldering and fixing things. So this is actually a 3D printed case, and there's a Wii. There's a whole entire Wii inside of this. And this one I got commissioned, but the one that I created, let me pull that out real quick. It's this one right here. So I don't know, see my camera, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Pikmin. I don't know if anybody knows about Pikmin, but that's cool. My favorite video game series. But yeah, so there's an entire Wii in this, and yeah, I mean it works great. You know, I can play my favorite, you know, GameCube games on it, and yeah, I don't know, I really like playing on this. Like I don't know if y'all can see this, but I got 007 right there, and
that's cool.
You know, Animal Crossing. So yeah, I love soldering. Yeah, I've got all that. So I would say I'm a nerd when it comes to that, or refurbishing. So I love refurbishing. I've done like Game Boy refurbishes. So anytime I buy like junky, you know, systems, I try to fix them up.
That's good quality work. You should literally start a YouTube channel for that. I mean, dead serious.
Yeah, no, I know I should.
That would probably surpass your reselling channel, man.
It probably would.
Yeah. So something to think about, man. Now, just so I mean, since you showed it off, if people want to order something from you, can they hit you up on Instagram or send you a message? Do you do stuff like that?
So I will say this took me like to perfect. It took me like 6 months to make this.
Okay.
So it takes time. I think I could probably pump it out if I had more time. It'd probably take me like 3 months or so, but it's really a grind to get it functional, and it's, oh my goodness, it's a lot of work. But yeah, maybe I'll just do like Game Boy refurbishes, or like I like to do the battery swap outs for like, you know, like the Pokemon games and stuff that. I could do that pretty easy, but you know,
listen, you have a reselling market here. Every time resellers need refurbished Game Boys or Sega Game Gears. I mean, every single Game Gear I have found, I had 12 of them, and I think 10 of the 12 didn't work because they need new caps on them. So
yeah, it's a little bit of a trial and error when it comes to capacitor swaps. I've fixed the Game Gear, and it's nice, but I would say I have a lot more fun with like the Game Boys, swapping out like the LCD screens or like, you know, IPS screen swap outs. I think that's a lot more fun for me personally. But yeah. Anyways, I could talk about that forever because I really like doing that.
No problem. For me, if I had to start another YouTube channel, so I literally just started sports cards because I literally love sports cards. That's what I first grew up on. So I literally have picking and punching cards, which I just started like 2 months ago. But if I wasn't going to do cards, wasn't going to do reselling, I would probably do something. I used to be a professional wrestler, so I would probably do either pro wrestling since I know so much about it, or I would probably do a channel about fitness and about working out. So that would probably be a motivational workout channel.
So for me, and I said this before, like I want to do a fishing channel, but the problem is I couldn't find the fish. Like that's step one. And I would
minor detail, Cat, right?
It's just a minor detail. I would probably, if I could, do like traveling. I think I saw a lot of people saying that in the chat. Like just going different places. I know Dave does like his theme park channel and stuff like that. So
so get right off. He can just write off all the food parts he goes through.
Smart.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I think I thought about doing the resin channel. I get bored really easy and I move on, and like it's like, you know, I get like really into it. I'm like, okay, that was fun. What's next? So I never started my resin channel for that reason. But I also think like I'm at a point where like I want like value for my time, and like I wasn't seeing that value with the resin stuff. So I think that's kind of why I stopped. And I'm really bad about not being able to have a hobby without thinking I need to make money. Like I cannot, like I think I need to make money at every freaking thing I do, which is really annoying because I can't just like enjoy doing something. I just go overboard.
So, Kat, I have the same issue. So I got to ask you a question. Why do you think that? Why is that an issue for you? Just because you always have to give 110% when you do it? Is it just because I have the same issue, and I don't know why I go through the same struggle.
I think it's being a hustler, like the whole reseller, like hustler thing, and like like I just feel like if I'm doing something, I should be getting paid. You know, like. It's so hard. Like once you're, you know, making money doing reselling or making money doing YouTube, and you're like, okay, like if I'm going to start this hobby, I'm going to sell this thing. Like, yeah. So
I'm going to go back to my question because I was in my feelings and I was going to say something I didn't need to say. I would, if I had to start a channel, I would do it on refurbishing tools, and I'm going to give myself a plug. If you guys go on my TikTok, it's Blood, Sweat, and Sell on TikTok. About a year ago, I was doing videos on refurbishing tools. So that's what I would do.
It's cool when he takes it and puts it under the grinder and he gets all the stuff off it and stuff like that. Were you doing those?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing something like that.
Wolfman's Goodies sent a $10 super chat and double upped Mark there. Didn't quite double up Scott, but close. So here you go. Thank you. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Miss Eileen says Tucker, hi. I'm glad you like Leroy, Tucker. I love you too.
If you guys don't know Tucker you can find him on Whatnot. That's the only really social media he's on, but does crazy sales. Tucker, you 14 or 15 now, but he's a 6-figure seller online, guys, on eBay and on Whatnot. It's absolutely amazing the stuff he has. So go give him a plug. Go check him out. Go follow him on Whatnot.
Okay, what am I going to give Tucker?
14.
I can't give Tucker. I can't, huh?
He's 14 now.
He's 14. Okay, we definitely.
He's been on the show a couple times too.
We can't. He has been on the show a couple times. Yeah. I don't know. Here, I'm gonna give you a Dalton one.
Hi, I'm Dalton.
Hi, I'm Dalton. He was so little then. I think I recorded that when he was like 2 or 3. He was so little, and now he's not little anymore. So. All right. Miss Eileen says, if you do free shipping and sell overseas, do you pay for shipping after Kentucky? I will insert here that overseas, international, now most of them go to Chicago, not Kentucky anymore. Just an FYI.
Oh, did they switch?
Yeah, they switched it. They moved the hub.
And I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. I was not paying attention for one, and that's my final answer. Sorry.
You're good, Leroy.
After shipping Kentucky, what does that mean? Sorry.
So they're saying is if you sell on and you have free shipping on, do you have to pay for the shipping after it goes to Kentucky or it goes to the
wherever it's
global shipping hub.
Like the hub or wherever?
Yeah, they pay for it, and then that's pretty much it. eBay has I love the international shipping program because once it gets to the hub, and then that is it. So it's great because I've made a lot of good high dollar orders pretty recently, and it'll be like random things that I have things on free shipping, and I'm like,
I'm probably not going to make that much on that item. But then when they do international, I'm like, dude, I just made a ton more money because they chose the international option. I'm like, yes, it's going to Germany or it's going to, Italy or wherever. And it's really nice because then I don't have to worry about issues with customs. Whereas before, you'd have to kind of like figure out if the item was lost. Now you don't really have to worry about that. And I love having international shipping. I mean, it's great.
Yeah. I love the international shipping program. I just had a return actually from an international shipping program, and eBay just took care of it. So the buyer got the money back. I had to keep my money, and I guess eBay take my item, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But no, so I will say originally when eBay started the global shipping program, I know a couple sellers that got negative feedback because their listing said free shipping, and then the buyer had to pay international shipping. So the buyer does have to pay. So I think they changed up in the system then where it notified the buyer they do have to pay. So the buyer always pays 2 shipping costs. One to ship it in the U.S. from your location to the international shipping hub. And then from the international shipping hub, they pay a separate one so it goes international. But if you have free shipping on your listing, you are responsible to ship the item to the shipping hub. They still have to pay eBay the shipping fee to get from the shipping hub to their location.
Yeah, and I think everybody has covered it. All right.
Leroy, you're muted.
Okay, question, Rod. If that's the case, do you put a signature? If you say it's something expensive,
yep.
Do you put insurance or a signature sending it only to the hub?
Yes, you can. So like for example, I sold a big item, a big comic book international. I did delivery confirmation. So the eBay shipping hub will sign for your item for you, and that they will mark it down. So you will have that proof that it was delivered there. Once it's delivered there, it's out of your hands, and then eBay is responsible for everything from there. So yeah,
I've done that because I was just a little concerned of an item, and I was like, I would do it if it was going to your house in Illinois or Chicago. So I'm going to do it because it's going to the fulfillment center.
So a lot of people thought eBay used to open up the packages. They don't open up your packages when they do ship them. So they don't repackage your item. So even if the item does get there and does it right broken, eBay still handles that, from my understanding. So.
All right. Sunny wants to know, what size boxes do you buy and use the most?
I don't normally buy boxes, but lately I've been getting the 6x8x4s. I used to never use boxes. I always used poly bags because 90% of my items are under a pound. But lately I couldn't find my poly bags, and I won't give people my address because I keep forgetting to get poly bags. So I was using the extra boxes that I had around, and I actually like using the boxes for some reason.
Yeah, so for boxes, so this is kind of an interesting one for me. So I have another full-time job, and let's just say with anyone that's looking to start doing reselling part-time, if you have a full-time job, most likely they have a logistics, or they have, some kind of receiving area where they take in boxes, maybe office supplies if you're at an office. And you can typically just say, hey, can I take your extra boxes? And that's what I do. I mean, I just take their extra boxes and packing foam and bubble wrap, and then I save a ton of money on shipping supplies that I don't have to pay for. And, will that work forever for me? Probably not. If I get bigger and, things start really rolling, then sure, I might have to buy more boxes. But right now, I would say if you're starting out, definitely, like me, I would say just, get your boxes for free. Ask your family members. Just say, hey, can I take your Amazon or whatever, packages you order from, and take it from them as a gift and a benefit for your business.
So for me, depends on where I'm selling. So I use a lot of, I do sell a lot of media, sell a lot of Disney pins, stuff like that. So I use my my bubble mailers. I use those a lot. 4x6x8 is a box I use a lot, which is a little small box, which fits like a Funko Pop, that kind of size. I use that a lot, smaller items. want to say, I think it's like 6x8 by 12 or 6x8 by 11 or whatever it is. That's known I use a lot. I will tell you guys, since we're starting the fourth quarter right now, I would highly recommend that you guys go out and buy boxes now. Do not wait till October. Do not wait till November, especially if you're going to go to you can order free boxes from the Postal Service. If you guys are shipping priority mail, like I sell and whatnot, if I sell on Poshmark, that's going to be priority mail, anything over a pound. So from what 1 pound to 5 pounds is going to automatically be priority mail. So the 12 by 12 boxes are really good. I do like I forget what size, the long, like they fit like board games stuff. I use those a lot too. But I would go on the Postal Service website right now and order your boxes. They will ship them directly to your house, guys, for free. Save money on boxes if you guys ship priority mail.
Yeah, so for us, we use the 8x6x4 a lot too. For smaller, valuable items, I use 4x4x4s. Like we sell a lot of higher dollar jewelry, so those I'm not going to put in a poly bag. I'll put them in a box. Oh yeah, I forgot Sparky. I didn't give her that. Did you give me a link?
I might have, but I don't know if you end up doing anything with it. I can come on next week. And we can real quick.
Yeah. So 4x4x4 for the small stuff, 8x6x4. I use 12x12s as well, and then 8x8s we like as well. Yeah, do not forget your $25. And how friggin' crazy is it that Q4 like this year is like flown by? It's so friggin' insane. So insane.
Also, too, if you use, depending on the label printer you guys use, order your labels now. I waited last year to November and I ran out and I didn't have backups, and it took like over a week for me to get labels because they were on back order. So make sure you guys have all your supplies now so you don't fall into that problem.
Yeah. Do not. I have a whole loft full of priority boxes right now. I keep those stocked all the time because you never know when they're going to have a shortage on them.
Do you know, somebody told me, so when I was moving my warehouse, and if this is true, please don't stab me in the heart, guys. But I was told when I was moving, that you're actually not supposed to throw the boxes away. So I had like a bunch. I ordered, they messed up, and instead of putting 10, it was just like a crazy amount of boxes that I had shipped to me. And then I wasn't using that size, so I just threw the whole complete things in the dumpster because I had nobody to give them to. My post office won't take them. Have you guys ever heard that you actually can get in trouble for that?
I mean, not that I know. Yeah, I don't know. That's the first I ever heard that one. So,
Caleb, you're muted.
I knew it happened at least once. What a noob. I was gonna say you should just take your free supplies and just put them in front of the USPS, free packing station, and then just walk off. I don't know.
All right. Oh, Not Funny was asking how the post office charges you more. I'm just gonna take this one and if you print it with eBay, they can charge you through your eBay account. Pirate Ship also will charge the card you bought the label with. Mercari sometimes will also charge through your account. And if none of that is an option, if you paid at the post office, they're going to charge your buyer to get that additional postage if they deem that extra postage is needed. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything onto that.
Oh, I just saw a funny comment from Black Sheep Society. So they actually have, I've seen
that is
Goodwill
so true.
Try to sell them. What are you doing? I'm like, why are you trying to sell free shipping supplies?
Many Goodwills have done that. I've seen that.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
There's Kat, I don't know if you saw Harry Tornado posted up, but some guy on Whatnot was selling UPS thermal labels. He was selling those labels because the UPS
free ones.
The free ones. And then he got called out. I guess the guy stopped or something like that. But yeah, I guess a lot of people reported the guy on Whatnot, but he was selling shipping supplies, and he just got the ones from UPS. There's a lot of angry people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Crazy.
All right. We got that. Okay. Cheryl is saying, how big of an area do you have for your listing, office, and storage? They did see mine. If you missed it, guys, I gave a complete tour of all of our sheds, our storage area, and where we do everything here. If you missed that, that was put out earlier this week. So if you missed it, check it out. But everybody else, how big is your area for listing and storage?
So I'm in a new warehouse. My other warehouse was 900 square feet, and it was intermingled with my office. In this new warehouse, downstairs, I have 15 by 15, but probably 15 by 5 of it is dedicated to my flea market bins, and the rest of it is my photo booth, and then my little work area that I have no table space right now because I'm crazy. Upstairs, I have 15 by 37. I have all my big racks and all my storage on one side, and then when I have it, I'm not done yet. When I'm done, I'll have another little desk up there, and upstairs is mainly my storage. So it will come in and go upstairs first. I have to sort of double loop around. It's just the way that it has to work here. Then it comes down, then it gets shipped up there, and then it comes down and it goes out the door.
I'm like trying to measure right now.
I was like, take measure over there measuring.
I'm like, let me see here. I'm like about 10 feet by. I don't know if I've ever thought about that. Yeah, 10 feet by 9 feet. So that's the office that we kind of lay out the inventory and take photos in. Typically, we just use the shelf behind me. So yeah, I'll just use this little square right here and set up all the smaller items right there. And then, I don't know, we've got a 3-car garage. So we just kind of put everything back in the third car spot that no one ever uses because we only have 2 cars. So we just put everything on 8 by 10, like the plywood the sheets that you get, and we cut the plywood in half, and then we just use that as shelving. So I don't know, it's probably about the same in our garage, the storage space, same as the office. So you don't really need like a ton, but if you're buying a ton of inventory, then yeah, you're going to need a good system, like a storage system for that.
So I'm currently in my office, my little man cave, my office up here, which you see like the light thing right behind me. That's where I do my card stuff, like my card pack openings and my card videos. But I do have inventory up here, but this is more or less like for my YouTube and other stuff. But I've taken over my wife's office, and then my spare room downstairs I've taken over as well. And I literally have gotten rid of my photo box. I don't take photos in a photo box or any of that anymore because I use Photo Room. I literally just take pictures on the floor or take pictures on a table and just remove the background because I don't need fancy light and anything else. But I have a 2-car garage, which is, so I keep some merch there, but I also have two massive storage units as well, which I have my storage warehouse full of merchandise, which I'm trying to downsize, which I've been downsizing, but yeah, I got a lot of stuff.
All right, and you saw my video, so I'm gonna not answer this. All right, Skippin' Stone says, how do you handle an item that shows delivered, but the buyer says it wasn't? USPS tracking shows left at door. Do you contact to confirm GPS details, misdelivery confirmed, or who files the claim?
What I do with that case is I immediately send a message to eBay and say, hey, listen, one of my customers is saying that they didn't receive it. They'll get back to me. And I also will double loop. And I know that most of us, if you do this for a while, you're sort of close with your postmaster, or at least somebody at the post office where you can get a little bit of it. They'll research it for you on their end, and sometimes it will show stuff that the computer does not show, or maybe it wasn't registered yet. And I have their phone number, and I'll just call them direct, and I just say, this is the tracking number. Could you please give me any more information? And when they do that, usually when they do that, it will upload into the eBay system showing the step that it was missing. but that's what I do. Sometimes they're just trying to get a freebie.
Yeah, I don't know. I've dealt with that a lot. So typically, what I'll do is just kind of reference the the tracking and put the latest status. And then if they're in an apartment complex, for example, because that's really common for apartment complexes, I've noticed, they'll say, "Hey, it wasn't delivered." The first thing I say is, "Hey, have you checked with the front desk?" And then the next thing is, "Hey, have you checked with your neighbors?" And so I'll just kind of, I won't put the blame on them. I won't start attacking the buyer or anything like that, because that's not a nice thing to do. Give them the benefit of the doubt, and then just kind of go from there. You can, contact USPS for them, or tell them to contact them as well. And there's not really a whole lot you can do other than say, "Hey, it's been delivered. It's kind of out of my hands at this point." Yeah, that's what I got.
So I pretty much do the same thing. I message by, just tell him to check with his neighbors or check with or wait one more day, because a lot of times when the postal service does mark an item delivered is when they load it on the truck. They're not supposed to do that, but some people will, because they'll get a head start for the next day. They'll scan it and mark it delivered, and it will show up the next day. I've had that happen over a dozen times. But after that, if the item is still not there, I just tell the buyer, open a claim on eBay, because once the buyer opens a claim on eBay, eBay's going to give you a couple of days to respond. All you have to do is copy the tracking number, put the tracking number on there, and it's going to show eBay the item was delivered. So 100% every single time, eBay is going to side in your favor in that. Now, eBay will take care of the buyer as well. If the buyer hasn't done this in the past, what they'll do is they will more than likely issue a refund back to the buyer and take care of the claim, but you are not responsible. You get to keep your money as well. So that's normally how eBay handles a lot of those situations.
Yeah, so I'm going to say exactly what Joanne just said in chat. There are porch pirates now. If USPS confirms your package was delivered, I would assume your responsibility for it ends there. And I agree with that. I do not contact UPS. I tell them, I'm sorry, it shows it's delivered once it leaves my hands. I'm not responsible. Maybe contact your postmaster, ask your neighbors, and that's the end of it for me. I'm not putting any more time in. It shows delivered. I know I'm covered as far as eBay, and I don't put any time into it at all. All right. Gretchen says, can you ask eBay to increase your listing limit with a starter subscription?
I haven't had to do that in a while, but I'm going to say yes. As long as they see that you're shipping your item, they see that you continue listing and stuff. But as long as you're active in it, and I've done it years ago, and it seems like it's okay. Like they will do it. So that's what I would just make sure that you're continue listing, and as soon as I'm bad for this, but as soon as my item sells, before I leave this workshop, that label's getting printed and it's getting put on the shelf. I don't care if it sold 20 minutes ago. If I didn't leave yet, that label gets printed and it gets put on the shelf.
I was just going to say that I don't know if I've ever reached that limit for listings. I don't know if I've had that problem before, that issue. So I would agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, for me, so I have no selling limit on eBay, but back in the day when I first started selling eBay, I had to call them up, and then they allow you to have it increased every 90 days. I don't recommend going to the thing. If you call them up and actually can physically talk to someone, they'll ask you a couple questions about what type of inventory, where you're getting your inventory, and then they should increase it. When I incorporated and got my wholesale license, I was buying wholesale at one point in time, and I would have to call them up like every 90 days, like, hey, I'm expanding my business. And they were cool. They would increase the limits for me, increase the amount of items. But right now, I think eBay across the board has, unless you're just starting out, but they removed a lot of people selling limits. Just like Leroy said, they just want to make sure that you're not growing faster than what you can actually ship out and take care of your customers. That's why they have those limits on in the first place.
Go ahead.
No, you say that, and we'll talk about increasing limits. So I didn't sell for a while. I came back and I started selling again. And Kat, I don't even know if I mentioned this to you. So I was selling an item that was like $200. Well, I had 7 of them. So I sold the first 3, and I sold the first 3, and then I put the listing back up because I had more. So I went and re-upped it to 3 more, and I believe that I had already printed the labels, but they were all delivered. I found out last week that they dropped my listing. Like my listing, it wasn't there. And then I went and I put it back up, and they sold right away. But I didn't get no warnings. There was nothing I did wrong. I just feel I don't trust eBay. I just don't.
Okay, now I have to remember what I was going to say.
Increase your limits.
Yeah, so just in the beginning, I think it's like 30 days though, like from when you start listing. And then you can ask every 30 days. But after you've been doing it a while, they'll just increase it for you without you asking.
Yep.
That's the main thing. All right. Squirrely Reseller says, how do you make the decision on where, I don't know if I know what she means, where the line when someone has amazing stuff and all selling at a quarter each, item selling for $20 and up? I don't know.
How do you make the decision on where to draw the line when someone has amazing stuff?
Maybe on how much to buy. Squirrely, if you're in here, will you elaborate for us?
No, so
$10, Aaron, $10.
So what she's saying, I think she's saying is, where do you draw the line when the person has amazing stuff they're selling for 25 cents each, and all those items are selling for $20 and up?
You don't draw the line. You just keep buying it.
Buy it all.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
I would just say time is money. So if I can go to a sale and knock out my sourcing for the entire week or the entire month, and I don't have to go sourcing for the next week, I'm going to buy every single thing I could possibly do if I have the room for it. Yeah, and I've done that multiple times, and I have taken off. Like in Florida, it's super hot here. I've taken off the month of August pretty much from sourcing, other than going to the Highway 127 sale. Like other than that, like I took 2 or 3 weeks off from going out sourcing because I had so much inventory. You know, time is money. So
yeah. All right. For DVDs and CDs, do you offer free shipping and bump the price up to cover the shipping, or lower the price and charge shipping?
I don't sell DVDs or CDs, but I have been with my new listings. I have been some of the cheaper stuff I've been putting up a little bit higher, like you said, and putting free shipping. But I want to make sure that I like to drop my prices a lot. So I had to make sure I went up a little bit higher than I wanted to. So as I start lowering my price, it won't affect me on the shipping.
Yeah, I typically do free shipping across the board. Don't know if that'll change in the future, but right now we bake into the shipping cost into the price of the item, and usually it's pretty competitive. I don't know if y'all have any other take on that. Maybe I should change my strategy, but so far it's been working good for us. I don't know.
So I've used both strategies. I've used everything with free shipping. I've used everything with calculated shipping. I've used flat shipping before for items. I've used a hybrid model, which some items were calculated shipping, the other items are free shipping based on how they are listed. And I will tell you, it caused me more confusion than anything because I like to run sales in my store, and then I forgot that the items had free shipping on, and I would run a big discount on them, and I ended up losing money. And then, you know, when the postal service would change their rates every 6 months, you know, I would have to go in there and bump up the pricing of those items that, you know, increased my shipping costs to counter that sometimes. So for me, it was just better for me to do calculated shipping across the board. That way I don't have to worry about it if I run my discounts off the actual buy price, not the shipping cost on those. And I prefer to, so to answer your question, I would actually have a lower sale price with, you know, because I'm including shipping.
Yeah, so for me, I do all calculated shipping too. I actually took out over 300 DVDs from my store because they've been sitting there for 3 years, taking up space at $4 and $5 price points. And yeah, so I got a lot of them. I got like 600, and a lot of them did sell. And the higher dollar ones sold faster because those were the more in demand ones. So what I should have done is either lot those up or just redonated and pulled those valuable ones. Like hindsight is 2020. But the nice thing about CDs and DVDs is that you can know the cost of it, right? Like they're all the same weight, so you do know what it's going to cost you in order to be able to bump that up if you do decide you want to charge or do free shipping. You know, they're all going to be like right at that probably $4 mark. So that's the nice thing is, you know, the weight.
Here's another thing too. The people that do use, they have media mail for shipping right now. Ground Advantage is actually cheaper sometimes than media mail. So
it is. Katie said that. Yeah.
So because they just raised the price of media mail, but they didn't raise the price of Ground Advantage. So when you guys go to ship out, always double check Ground Advantage, because I've been shipping. It was actually cheaper for me to ship a massive box. It was going to be like $15 to ship CDs, and it cost me $10.42 or something to ship at Ground Advantage. Same thing with like individual ones. So double check that, guys, before you ship out.
Yeah, so Squirrely saying I shopped with her. She actually video chat me and took me to an estate sale with her, and I kind of helped her out a little bit. And they were dropping the prices. So what she like a lot of it was high end, but I think for me, I see like we saw stuff that was kind of mid-range today, but shipping would be a pain, and I didn't feel the profit was worth the time that it would take to ship. So we left it on the shelf. So I think you really have to take into account, you know, like the time shipping, the supplies that you're going to spend shipping. How long is it going to take to sell? Is it worth, you know, $25 as your bottom point, but it's going to take 2 years to sell? Then I might not get it. Even if it's only a quarter, because that space is money too, right? Not just your time.
Storage space.
So, yeah, for sure. All right. What have I here? I'm going to do me with the gator. We haven't done this one. Yvonne Thrifty Rich made that for me, if you guys do not know. I was not in there at the same time as the gator. Well, I was, because I took that video 10 seconds after I got out. So I guess I was in the water with the gator. Not on purpose, though. All right. Let's see. How would you know if your eBay account has been hacked?
I don't even want to answer this because I don't ever want this to happen. So I'm sorry, guys. I can't answer that one. I wouldn't know.
I would probably say just kind of monitoring your messages, and then I constantly use my eBay. So I mean, if I couldn't log into my eBay right away, I would be like, okay, something's wrong. So I mean, I would start contacting eBay, trying to reset my password and figuring out what's going on. I contact customer service right away and just figure out, search it maybe from, a different account and figure out what's happened. Always, with anything with security and, making sure that you have a good password, resetting your password every now and then, just like your other social media accounts. Don't have the same password for everything, that's not a great idea. So yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, 2-factor, exactly.
I've had my eBay account hacked a long time ago. I'm talking like 15 years ago. Someone sold I didn't even know. They listed something on my account and sold it, and then changed like the payment method for it. And that was the only time. But yeah, I would say if you look at if you think your eBay account has been hacked, I would go and look at your sold listings and look at what has been purchased on your account. Those are the two things that people will list something on your account. and this was back in the day when this is before, we had like electronic payments and stuff like that. But what would happen is people would ship money orders, and then people would hack your account, change the shipping address. They would quick put them super low. It would sell, and then they would send the buyer. The buyer would mail it, and then they would never even see it.
Yeah, and I agree with Caleb. Like, if I couldn't sign in, I would be like, what the heck is going on? And that would set off like alarm bells. So Erin, I have to say it, Erin just messaged me on Instagram and said, check your PayPal. She sent me her $10 late fee on PayPal. Thank you for your late fee, Erin. I appreciate it.
Kat, we're 8 minutes and we have not seen Kevin. I think because you got a PayPal thing, we need to get Kevin tonight.
Okay, close your eyes. Here we go. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Here you go.
Ah, yes. The night's not complete without Kevin.
All right. Sweet Peas Addict says, with the volume of stuff you are selling, is it worth it to change your listings to qualify for top rated plus status, which is 1 or same day handling and 30-day returns?
You get a 10% discount on your fees if you guys do this, by the way. That's why she's asking the question.
I'm going to have to go back to me.
Caleb?
Oh, sorry. So it's me. So I mean, I do it just because, I don't know, maybe it's the entrepreneur in me, but I just want to always have like a good status on my account. And yeah, I like the discounts too, and I think it's just a good idea to have it. And when people see that, it's just like an extra thing. They see your account and they're like, oh man, that's great. They're going to ship my item right away. So I think that's the added benefit, is maybe it helps with your eBay store, and people tend to want to buy from someone that's a top rated seller. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
So I would love to do it on my account. I just would not be able to do it. I'm a one-man show, and I source myself. I run 3 YouTube channels. I sell on multiple platforms. There's no possible way for me to. I mean, I can do it, but I would be super stressed out. And for me, I would rather give up the 10% in fees to have peace of mind and have 2 to 3 day shipping on, because, if I get a call, I'm going to drop everything out and go out to a pick, because you never know when those picks are going to come in a private pick or something like that. So for me, I can't do it. I would rather, it's not worth the amount of money I would save. Even though I would save hundreds of dollars a month, for me, the peace of mind goes way further. And just that's for me, though, because how I run my business. Now, someone else, absolutely saving that money. The Cat's going to tell you she had employees there for a while, and it's going to be perfect for her because her business model is completely different than my model.
Yeah, so I do it because our eBay fees a lot of months are $2,000-$3,000. So for us, that's $200 to $300, and those returns don't add up to more than what I save, even if you count like the cost of the item. So for me, as long as you can do it, I would caution, like, if you don't think you can fulfill that 1 day shipping time, I would not advise doing it, because you don't want to risk your eBay account by shipping later than what you're promising. But for me, it is worth it, and it saves hundreds of dollars a month.
So I do same day shipping, and I do returns, but I wasn't paying attention. I got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
All right. Let's see if we can listen. We only have 3 questions left. Let's try and knock them out really quick. PW says, if you had an item you researched, found no comps and listed it sold in less than 10 minutes, you found a different website telling how rare and unique it was, no price, would you cancel the sale?
I would not. I would try to list it a little bit higher, not knowing what I have. And as long as I 3 times my money, honestly, the next person gets a blessing. I can't live my life like that and just be upset because I could have still got a lot out of it. And your time will come around. You'll find that item that you can comp right and get the money that it's worth.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Just because, you're already getting good deals out there anyway, whether it's like sourcing at garage sales or thrift stores or wherever. So you're already getting an item for really cheap, majority of the time, unless you're doing bulk buys, then you'll get your money back anyway. So it's just, I don't know, it's not worth it. Just, take the loss, and it's a learning life lesson, and just ship it off. I mean, just eat the cost, and you learn for next time. And that's a part of the business. Sometimes you have some losses with the simple mistakes along the way. So just be honest and ship off that item and let that person get a good deal off you.
So I used to save my searches on eBay because I used to look for newly listed items that are low cost. And I can't tell you how many times I've actually bought item extremely undervalued of the market, and then other people message that seller, and then they'll send me a message, oh, I had people offering more money for the item, I listed too low, and they cancel my order. And that is very frustrating, and it's a waste of my time. The last thing I want to do is do it to someone else. I don't care if I lost hundreds of dollars. I would say now that item's like $10,000. I'm gonna have to. That might be a different story, but like it's a cost of doing business. If I list something on eBay, I'm listed at a price where I'm already going to make a good profit on the item. And if I can't find comps, which is very rare, this is why Worth Point is so important to my business, because it goes back 10 years, or you can go back 3 years in therapy. I will list the item high with best offer on, and then I will let the market dictate the price. Or what I would do is over time, I'll just start dropping that price on that item because maybe I overpriced it. That's the way I do items I can't find pricing on.
Yeah, so typically if I can't find a price, I'm going to price it where I'm happy considering what I bought it at. So I would not cancel the sale. I think ethically and morally it is wrong to cancel that sale no matter what it's worth. It's just not fair. Like, you wouldn't want to be on the end of that. And you don't always have to be the end user on something, right? Like, you know what? If they bought it and they knew more than me and they grabbed it that fast, then their education is paying off for what they know that I don't. And I think like our education pays off sometimes too. So I would not cancel it.
I mean, how many times have I been in a yard sale where someone's like, oh, I know this thing's worth $50. I don't care. You can have it for 10, make some money on it because they just want it gone. So if Cat would cancel that listing, relist the item higher, it may take 6 months for that right buyer to come by on that. So just take the money and go, move on with it. Cost of doing business.
Yeah. All right. This is a quick yes or no. Has anyone, and you guys can answer in the chat too, has anyone here won the eBay Up and Running grant in the past?
You guys don't know what it is. eBay gives grants. You can apply for grants.
$10,000, I think.
Yeah, I have not.
Nope.
Cat has not.
Yeah,
either.
I have not either. Cat, I'm tired. Renee says, does the international shipping through eBay make you fill out the international shipping forms? This is another yes or no. And the answer is no. They fill them out for you. I'll go ahead and grab that one. I don't know if anybody, this is the last question. I don't know if anybody on the panel knows. I actually found this out recently because one of my members let me know that she was not eligible for international shipping. I didn't know that was a thing. And she had a chance to opt in and didn't. And now they're saying she's not eligible. So does anyone on the panel or anyone in the chat know how long or what those qualifications are for eBay to let you in that eBay international program?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't either, honestly.
It's brand new, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's brand new. Because she tried, because she's like had somebody in Canada wanting something, and then she went to try and turn it on, and it told her she wasn't qualified. So if they give you the option, I would recommend everybody turn it on, because it looks like now you might miss the boat, so to speak.
Here it is. So an eBay account has to be in good standing. You have to have earned at least 10 feedback points as a seller, have made your first successful sale more than 90 days ago, post in the eligible category, and offer shipping to the UK, Europe, and worldwide.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's the requirements.
There we go.
Thanks.
All right. Rod.
Yes.
Oh, nothing. I was going to yell at you for something you didn't do. I stopped myself. I didn't do it.
Story of my life, guys. Story of my life. Always getting yelled at for something.
All right, I'm gonna make Leroy and Caleb big, let them tell you what they have got going on coming up, and then Rod will, as well as myself. And we got through all the questions, which we have not done in a while. So I am impressed that we got through all the questions. So here is Leroy.
We got through all the questions because I was paying attention until I got sidetracked a little bit, but I was paying attention this time. I was told I was going in the hot seat. I put my A game on and I tried my best. It was amazing to be on the show again. I really appreciate being here. I appreciate you, Kat. Goodness gracious. See, now I'm forgetting people's names, Rod.
Cat.
Yeah, okay, goodbye. I'm done.
All right, here's Caleb.
All right, yeah. This is the first time I was on the, this cast, so it's really cool. Maybe it's just because I was here. Good luck charm. I don't know. But beginner's luck. But yeah.
Where can we find you at?
Oh, so our YouTube channel, so Baron Bison, and then our Instagram is Baron Bison Thrift. We have a YouTube challenge, our first one going on right now. So we're saving up for a van for our growing family. So we have a running total on our last video. So please check us out on YouTube. Yeah, just love doing this, and it's really fun. That's pretty much all I got.
Perfect. Rod, what do you have coming up, my friend?
All right. Well, I was sick the last week, so my picking and punching video will drop tomorrow. I'm probably not going to drop a video on my flipping and punching channel this week. I'm going to take it off to get caught back up on things. I will have a video on my card channel out this week, but I am doing a massive whatnot. 2 weeks from today, I am going to blow out all my Disney pins, my high-end Disney pins. I'm talking about the ones that go for $200-$300, the pin sets, the frame sets, everything, starting everything at $1. So it's going to be a massive show. Before I go live on here, I'm going to go probably from 6 to 8 and go right into the podcast. So go book that, Mark. It's called the Crazy $1 Show on Disney Show on Whatnot. So go find that, guys, and bookmark it.
My good friend LaDonna saved me here and put the link to Leroy's Sparky contest. So if you guys have not, go check out the Sparky contest. You have to design Sparky. And yeah, so there's the link. It's on One Stop Shop, and go read about it there. Thank you, LaDonna, for putting that. Next week, we are going to have Fisher Flips and Freaking Flipper on with us. And as far as me, tomorrow is a high dollar Halloween research video. It's a really, really fun video. Everything's worth over $1,200 in it. So if you don't know Halloween stuff, that one's a good one. And then Friday is all high dollar sales that are my sales, not the research. And Marsha put it up here. If you guys haven't checked out my Cat's Treasure Hunting channel, definitely check it out. Shannon and I have been going shopping, so I have more videos, and like the stuff we found today is crazy, but I still have 2 from last week too. So I actually have footage in stock now, which I didn't have, but now I got to stop shopping again because we have too much. So I got to list stuff really fast. So next Tuesday during the day, I think 11 a.m. Eastern, I will be live doing the listing express party with you guys. And I might do a knickknacks tomorrow with the $3,300 auction haul that I picked up. Well, I picked up, that my daughter picked up for me today. We might do that over on knickknacks tomorrow. So if you guys don't follow me over on knickknacks, that's on District. Definitely do that. Thank you so much to Leroy and Caleb for coming on. Rod, I am glad you're feeling better. I hope Jess is feeling better. Thank you for coming back. He didn't just get sick and never come back, you know. So
I think that'd be death if that happened.
Right. Oh, thank you guys in the chat too. It wouldn't be possible to do this every week without you guys. So thank you for being here every week. And we are here every Tuesday. So come and see us, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.